What's up, guys? Me and Psycho Dad are back here again with another Resident Evil video. And in the background here, we got some Resident Evil 5 campaign co-op on Professional, which is a very good background for the topic we're going to be discussing today, which is the Resident Evil 9 upcoming and anticipated game, which was just leaked a couple weeks ago. So, Dad, you read through this article and this leak, so why don't you tell us what this is all about?
All right, guys. So the article that we're referencing came out actually only 4 days ago, and basically they're talking about remasters of old Resident Evil games, but the main topic of it was Resident Evil 9, and according to them, it is about to be announced in the next coming months. And if I'm not mistaken, Capcom does their game showcase in a couple months from now, so if anything, we're going to see RE9 there. As for my predictions as to what RE9 is going to have, I'm going to spoil a little bit of Resident Evil 7 and 8, so if you haven't played the game, skip forward like 5 seconds. Alright, so basically, at the end of Resident Evil 8, Ethan Winters dies, right? He's the guy you play as in Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. It was kind of his story for those two games, and at the end of Resident Evil 8, he dies. And Chris, pretty much, he's also in the game, and he, like, basically the whole story of the 8th game is you're trying to find your kid, and Chris is there helping you, or he's on his own doing something. But Chris is in the game, so in my honest opinion, I don't think Chris will be in Resident Evil 9 since the most recent Resident Evil mainline game has him in it. So if anything, I believe they're gonna probably make a game based around Leon, or if they want to throw a complete curveball, they could do a game with Jill Valentine and possibly even Sheva, because as you know, Sheva's only been in Resident Evil 5, and if they threw a major curveball of, hey, we're gonna make a game with Jill and Sheva, everyone would be like, whoa, what? I mean, they would be really hyped. But in my honest opinion, I'm pretty sure they're gonna use Leon. He's obviously the OG, and he hasn't had a mainline game since Resident Evil 6, and Resident Evil 6 was the last game he appeared in. And at the end of that game, basically, he got cleared of him being there during the president's death, and he's basically just working for the Secret Service. And as we all know, they could take the story anywhere with that. They could send him to another village like they did in Resident Evil 4, but I don't know. The story is up to them what they want to make it. In terms of gameplay, what I would like to see is a co-op mode. That was arguably the strongest points behind RE5 and 6. And for that survival horror aspect, I want them to take elements from The Evil Within and incorporate that in Resident Evil. And in my opinion, you would have the perfect blend of fun and survival horror all in one. But that's what I want to see gameplay-wise. And honestly, make the co-op optional. Like, if you want to play single player, okay, you don't have to have a co-op partner. You can just play just you, and that's the only person you got to worry about. But what do you think about Resident Evil 9? What would you like to see?
So I love survival horror games. It's my single favorite genre in gaming. My number one favorite survival horror game is The Evil Within. Martha is Dead is a good one, and Resident Evil is great. It's a mixed bag because there's so many of them. Some of them suck and some of them are great. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I haven't played every Resident Evil game, so I can't exactly tell you guys what I want to see out of the story because I don't know the whole story. But I do know a good survival horror game, and what I can tell you from the Resident Evil games that I have played, I would like a Resident Evil game that resembles 4 and has the co-op mode of 5 and 6. Because 4 is my favorite, but I love being able to play. Who doesn't like being able to play a game with their buddy? It just, any game, it's going to make the experience better, being able to play with your friend versus just playing by yourself. So obviously I want the game to be co-op, and I want that, just like Dad said, I want them to take aspects from my favorite survival horror game, which is The Evil Within, and combine it with aspects of like Resident Evil 4 and 5 and 6 with the co-op mode, and we could have the best survival horror game of all time. I never played Resident Evil 7 or 8, so I don't know where the story is currently. The farthest I've played is 6. And in terms of my favorite Resident Evil character or who I want it to be, my favorite character is Chris. But the thing about Chris's campaigns and Chris's games that he's in is they're always more action-oriented versus Leon's games and his stories are usually always more horror-oriented. So even though I do like Chris better as a character, I think he's cooler, I think he's more badass, I think he's, you know, swole, and just, you know, everybody thinks Chris is awesome. I think he's awesome. But Leon's games are typically just more, they're more fun, they're more appealing to me as a survival horror fan. So I guess for my hopes and thoughts and predictions and concerns for this upcoming Resident Evil 9 is, I guess I want it to be Leon. But, you know, we were talking about a co-op game. How about give us both? How about give us a co-op Resident Evil game where we can play as... Oh, crap, we died.
Oh, my goodness.
Chris and Leon side by side. Dad, what do you think about that? Won't that be pretty cool? Why does the game end?
I mean, I think it would be amazing if we could have Chris and Leon in the same game as two. Obviously, they've never worked together before. They've only just had run-ins, but if they're side by side in the same game for a co-op experience, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and guys, when I say I want them to have aspects of the Evil Within, I'm talking about the first Evil Within. The second one is great and all, but the first one was more horror oriented, so I want them to take aspects from that. Just think of the first Evil Within and Resident Evil 4 had a kid. Oh my god, this is starting to piss me off. So that's what we think. That's what our thoughts and predictions are for Resident Evil 9. Dad, do we have an estimate on when this game's going to come out?
As far as I know, it's going to come out in later 2024, potentially early 2025, because I'm sure they spent most of their time this year in 2022 working on Resident Evil 4 Remake, because obviously that came out back in March. But from what I've heard, it should be later 2024 for when we see the game come out. I hope it's good, I really do. But I think that's all we got to say about the leaks and rumors of Resident Evil 9.
Yeah, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. If you're a Resident Evil fan, make sure you subscribe, because our next video that we're going to be recording here in just a few short minutes is we have some insider news that they're going to do a remake of Resident Evil 5 just like they did with Resident Evil 4. So make sure you guys subscribe for that. And thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think of this leaked news and what you guys are hoping for Resident Evil 9. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.